Hey, what's happening, everyone? It's your man Akin recapping Week 9 of the season. After a huge roadblock Saturday, there is once again a change in the BCS standings. For the fourth week in a row, we have a new #1 team, Oregon, who jumped ahead of Auburn this past weekend after an impressive win at USC. I don't think that anybody can stop the Ducks' offense. We all know about running back LaMichael James, but the Ducks also have a great quarterback in Darren Thomas, who is a big-time dual threat and a great team leader. Also, the Ducks have an underrated receiver in Jeff Mayo, who had 145 yards receiving with 3 scores against the Trojans. For the 6th straight week, Mayo had at least 1 touchdown reception. That's impressive. By the end of the season, he might make first team All-Pac-10. Now, after the Ducks' big win during primetime television, the BCS voters just had to put them over Auburn, who did not play too well against Ole Miss, but still won. But if both Oregon and Auburn win out for the rest of the season, they will play each other for the national championship. But we will see. At number 3 is TCU over Boise State, who dropped at number 4. Why? Because they had a larger margin of victory this past weekend. Boise did win big, but not as big as TCU. So the voters put TCU over Boise. But Boise can get their spot back, depending on this weekend's grudge match between the Horned Frogs and number 5 Utah. Yes, you heard correctly. Utah is 5th in the nation, which means there are 3 non-BCS conference teams within the top 5. Can I say playoffs, anybody? I don't know, just a thought. Anyway, just a place under Utah at number 6 is Alabama. We cannot sleep on the Crimson Tide. They too still control their own destiny, with big games between Mississippi State, LSU, and in the Iron Bowl at Auburn. If Alabama wins their games, they will make it to the national championship, even though Boise and TCU might be undefeated. It's just not fair, but the voters will just put them in front of him. Why? Because they're part of the SEC. Doesn't make sense. With all of these teams still in the hunt for the national championship, 2 teams lost their chances this past weekend, starting with the Michigan State Spartans at Iowa. As I said before, Michigan State have not won in Iowa since 1989, and I expected them not to win. Just like I told you, they did get whipped, 37-6. Why? Because the Iowa defense, starting with their line, for most of the game they only allowed to rush 3 down linemen, and they still managed to wreak havoc on quarterback Kirk Cousins. Cousins could not find any open receiver on the field because of the additional coverage they had against Iowa, the additional coverage that Iowa had against the Spartans. There was just too much for them. For the first half, Iowa just dominated the game. Just like at Lincoln when Missouri played Nebraska. For the first half again, Nebraska just controlled the game. Only because Missouri forgot about running back Roy Hillou Jr., who rushed for a school record 307 yards with 4 touchdowns. All eyes were on Taylor Martinez, the quarterback, and Missouri just forgot about Roy Hillou Jr. Everybody was thinking that Taylor Martinez was going to do well, and Missouri did stop him, only allowing him to rush for 16 yards. But they forgot about the talent around him. Roy Hillou Jr. is a great running back, and they just underestimated him. That's why Nebraska won this past weekend, 31-17. Big game. Mizzou just lost it, but Michigan State and Mizzou still have a shot to win their conference championships. They need a couple of teams to lose their games in order for them to win, but they still have a shot. We still have plenty of games left in the season, and anything can happen, as we all seen so far this season. A lot of upsets and big wins. Thank you for watching today's show. My name is Akin. Be easy.